Hey guys, John Bergsman here from Captain Chuck's in Ludington, Michigan. We've got some awesome reports today, but they're not really reports, they're videos because we don't want to send people out here during April during this shutdown period. So what we've got is a couple of 5-minute videos about what you can expect to find in May when we get back out on the water. First one here, we're talking about crappie fishing up in the Cadillac region on Mitchell and Cadillac. Really cool segment that I filmed with Chris Knazel from Pilgrim's Village, and they've got another little great local bait store up there as well. Then we're going to take a few minutes and try and educate you guys on a really good video on introduction to spoon fishing, brought to you by Dreamweaver, for all you guys that are looking at getting from the walleye side of things and maybe adding silverfish into your repertoire, enjoying the lakes on both sides of us, both Huron and Michigan, getting out, whether it's salmon, steelhead, coho, or lake trout. We're going to try to help set you up and give you some pointers in the right direction. And then we're going to end with a early May segment we shot with Captain Nick Dude from Real Live Action Sport Fishing out of Granville. He brought us out to one of his favorite spots down at Monroe. This was shot in the first week of May of last year, and it is some awesome fast action on some Strike King custom made crankbaits by Dave Domko over at Domko Outdoors right there in Monroe. So stay tuned. 3 great videos to get you excited about getting out in the boat.
Nice job. Oh, that's a nice one. Show that one off.
That's another good one.
Oh, that's a super good one.
You got the hook good too.
Yeah.
They don't get them in the. Sometimes they get them in that soft lip and you need a net to get them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's right in the bone.
He wasn't going anywhere.
No.
Show that one off, Chris. So is that just a normal size?
That's just a good eating size one. It's not a monster by any means, but it's a good eating one.
Perfect for what we're doing, and we're gonna give your friends a few fish, so we're gonna leave that open. Great job. Well, it looks like we found a few fish out here, and when you're on this calm water, we saw some swirls, right?
Yeah, we've seen some swirls over here.
Boom, bobber down. All right, we've also seen some humongous bass.
You monsters.
We may have to do that this. Oh, bobber down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Might have a walleye here. Nope, big crappie. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Gorgeous. Lake Cadillac crappie. You got one too, Chris?
Just on the other side of the boat.
Awesome fish, awesome fish. And the key is, right now, is just getting right to the edge of this weed patch, right?
Right.
It was perfectly positioned. Oh yeah. Oh, big crappie right there, Chris. You see where my bobber was?
Oh yeah.
Go get another one. Look at this. Look at this sled. Wow. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. There is nothing better in the spring to just get you going than to go out, Chris, and just catch a whole boatload of these.
Oh yeah, getting a whole bucket full of these makes for a really good day.
Awesome. Here we go. Look at this. 15 minutes into the day, we got already 3 really nice ones. This is a crappie. This is a world-class crappie. It's a crappie. Wow.
You net that one?
Yeah.
I guess moving did the trick.
Wow. That crappie waited exactly 2 seconds to hit that. Wow. Lake Cadillac. We're on Lake Cadillac right now. We're going to move to Lake Mitchell maybe a little bit later in the day, but This is what you can get in the spring. Look at the colors on that fish. Awesome fish. Awesome. Simple live bait and bobber. Kids, families, anybody can do this. Weed clumps, right? Just find a weed clump.
Not too deep of water, you know, 6 to 10 foot of water. Look for some good weeds and.
Awesome. We're starting to build on a little, really simple today. We used just a live bait on a number 6 true turn. About 8-9 inches to its split shot. Another foot or so to our bobber. Of course, we use a thill. It's about, maybe 18 to 22 inches. We're fishing it halfway up. Now, the weed tops came in at about 4 feet. So Chris had us fishing about 2 feet in between the top and the top of the weed tops, which is perfect. The crappies will sit right in the very tops of the weed tops, and when that little minnow is struggling above them, they just come out and they grab it, and then of course they go back down to the safety of the weeds. That's what takes the bobbers down. If you fish too tight to the weeds, sometimes they'll eat it, you won't even see your bobber move, and you end up, you know, getting it deep in their throat. So you can't play the catch and release game. Now on our rods, I just was using my Walleye Special. It's a really good rod for just all-around use. I have it spooled up with just some 8-pound test fluorocarbon and 6-pound test fluorocarbon leader. So I just went a little bit lighter for crappie fishing. Oh yeah, it's a big one. Wow. We stopped our bass fishing. We came back to our crappie spot hoping that the evening bite would be a little better. I lost a truck. I didn't lose this one. Awesome. Cadillac and Mitchell, Central Michigan. Unbelievable.
Hey, Jeff Miller here today with Traxstech Corporation. Just wanting to show you a really cool, unique product that we kind of morphed over one of our other handliner brackets. We've called it for years. This is just an arm that we've had for supporting handliner reels, barbecue grill brackets, fish cleaning stations, cutting boards, things like that we've had on the boats. And we always made it more of a permanent application with a riser on here, slid into our track, tightened up, and when you came to the dock, you had to loosen it up, slide it out, and take it out. So we've had a lot of guys over the course of years ask, hey, something a little bit more user-friendly for us and quicker to use. So we came up with one of our rod holder knuckle designs that we use in here, put a riser in here, just added a few of our mounting holes, and now we've got plates on here on the top of our holes that allow us to mount electronics on here, a fish cutting board station mount, so these 4 holes, and then hand ladder reels are designed to mount either through to it or clamp right in place and lock on. A lot of the river guys use the hand ladder setup on here. But on the bracket assembly, unique features about this with anything that we want to put on this bracket and use for it. We've got all of our teeth that we have incorporated into most of our rod holders for quick, easy adjustability, turn and pivot and rotate it. Now you get it on the side of your gunwale wall, and we can literally be fishing with it on this side, lift up, rotate it around, pull it back inside the boat, and this thing will end up going real nice and flat parallel with your gunwale wall inside here. So we get a lot of beautiful features of what this rod holder, or what this mount will do for us in that particular application, and be able to fold up and rotate 360 degrees around, get it out of the way no matter where you want to store it. So one more unique feature that we can help out with mounting applications on the boat with all the adjustability available. Check it out on our website at traxstech.com.
Hey everybody, John Bergsman here from Fisherman's Digest. Now we're all coronavirus locked in right now, so we thought we'd take some time to create some videos that were really more educational than anything else to help the real new salmon fisherman, silverfish fisherman, or the walleye guy thinking about getting into silverfish fishing. And we wanted to take you through some of the basics. I know for me as a walleye guy, when I first got started, the most intimidating thing is literally where to start. How do you get going in it? So we got Ryan Bullard here from Fishing Affair Charters right up here in Ludington. He's a Dreamweaver Pro staff member as well. And we're going to talk to you about getting started as a salmon fisherman. There's such good fishing out there right now, Ryan.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, just when the state said 2 years ago fishing would get bad,
yeah,
the complete opposite happened. The bait showed up,
the fish showed up. So we're gonna start, assuming that we're now offshore, not beach trolling, we're just dropping off into a little deeper water, take our new guys out. We're gonna talk about 2 different lines of Dreamweaver spoons, a handful of colors, which we will show you at the end, so don't panic. And these are ones that Ryan's picked out as just good base start colors. Maybe get 6, 8, 10 colors, get a couple of each of those colors in 2 different sizes so that you got a base, right, Ryan? That's important.
Yeah, once you find something that's working, you can always adjust your program from there.
So we're offshore now, not beach trolling. We're in early May. What spoon do you start with?
My go-to would probably be the UV mixed veggie. That's one of my favorites.
And the style would be a super slim?
And the super slim, yeah.
Okay.
I like the smaller spoons. In the beginning of the season, the bait fish is still maturing and growing as it goes. So
you are definitely trying to match the profile in the hatch just a little bit early in the year. So super slims, let's say for the month of May and into June, is that safe?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Super slims are a good all-around spoon. They troll really nice at all speeds. That's one reason I really like them, especially when I'm trout fishing, because they flutter. Even at low speeds and high speeds, they fish really nice.
Sure, so basically from 2, 3 on up, this is going to be a great performance spoon.
Yeah, you can troll that spoon even at probably 2.8, 3.0.
Exactly. And again, Alex is going to show you these spoons later and as we talk, but it looks to me here that you've got a really bright selection. Is that going to be something as a key for most new guys to really concentrate on, UVs and bright contrast colors?
A lot of the times I'm fishing pretty deep, so I like the brighter spoons down there.
Sure, so they'll show up better?
Yeah, and I really like the UV, so that helps on the sunny days. You know, it helps stuff really stand out.
All right. So. Now, what are you pulling these spoons behind?
These spoons I will set, like I'll stack a set on an out-down.
Okay.
Set those there, and I really like my short lead cores and my short coppers.
Okay, so on your board rods, you're just running the copper to a leader?
Yeah, I run a 20-foot fluorocarbon leader.
What pound test?
I usually start with 20.
Okay.
And then as the season moves on, obviously, and the fish get bigger,
sure.
Once you snap a couple off, then you step it up to 25. But
gotcha.
If you're on a good quality fluorocarbon, 25 pound usually will do just about everything you need.
Good, and that goes to a good Dreamweaver swivel.
Good Dreamweaver swivel, yep.
Exactly. That's important, guys. We don't just say that for fun. There's a lot of cheap, you can go to Myers or something and get a whole pack of them for $2.
Yeah.
But the problem with those guys is that they don't spin properly, and they actually will start to twist your leader line up.
You want a good ball bearing swivel.
The other thing is they'll inhibit the action. That's the biggest, probably the biggest thing. It isn't even twisting up 20-pound fluoro, is that the action on the spoon will be inhibited because the spin of the barrel isn't a good, clean, smooth spin.
Exactly.
So we get to, let's say, mid-June, typical year, temperature starts warming up. When do you switch, Ryan, from the smaller profile spoons to start to show them some bigger stuff?
Well, there's really nothing that really stands out to me when I switch. I just kind of start throwing them out there.
So almost trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error. When I start filleting some fish and I see that they're maybe the fish that have been catching are onto a
bigger size,
bigger school of alewife.
Yeah.
If I fillet them open and they got 7, 8 inch alewife in them, which was pretty common last year.
Sure.
Then I'll start running a lot more Magnum spoons and just kind of playing with it and adjusting the program.
So we got, it looks to me the same type of thing. Now this is the larger spoon, this is the smaller spoon, just for some reference, guys. You can kind of see that. And again, Alex will show you that a little bit later in the video here. But they are really substantially bigger. I mean, they're double the width and probably a good half again as long. And what that really does is it gets the fish a little bit more triggered because it looks more like substantial,
it has
right?
More flutter to it. A lot of times when fish are pressured, up on our bank here in Ludington, we got a lot of structure. So when you're trolling down the bank and they see the same stuff going down there, you want to kind of switch it up and get a fish that's not really actively feeding to try and get them to trigger a bite.
Sure, and one of the questions I get a lot is, will the same group of spoons work for different species? Now I know darn well they'll work awesome for lake trout.
Yeah.
And they'll work for kings. Yep. Is this the same stuff you'd put out for coho or steelhead on the high lines?
For coho, I would like the more like the super bred pattern.
Sure.
For coho, and the brighter stuff like the Steely Dan.
And of course, always remember, guys, when you're fishing coho and steelhead, typically, especially early, you're fishing up.
High, yeah.
Yeah, you're high.
I think that's one of the big problems a lot of new salmon fishermen make, John, is they will they'll go out, send their probe down, and they'll find 44 to 46 degree water, and then they'll send every bait they got right down to there. So I think a lot of the problem that new fishermen have is they fish below the fish.
Right.
Fish are always looking up. Active fish will come up, 20, 30 feet to get a bait that they can see and want up there.
There is no question of that. That is a point I'm glad that Ryan brought up, that a lot of people they don't think about is water clarity. You get out there on a clear, clean day, even in the right color water, and fishermen are also looking for a little bit of color, green or bluishness to their water.
Yeah.
But the key also is to understand that fish can see a flashing spoon 20, 30, 40 feet away. Easily see it that far in most conditions, which means you don't have to be right on. In fact, being right on top of them sometimes is a negative.
Right.
Making them feel like they're hidden and sending them on that wild goose chase to the bait it can be a trigger. I know a walleye, that's a huge deal, and we'll talk about that on a different video. So early season, when do you use a spin doctor with these spoons? What application?
Well, as the water starts warming up a little bit, we'll start mixing up the rotators. The rotator bite will start to pick up, along with the meat rigs, the meat rig bite.
Right, which we'll talk about later. And then the paddle, is that more of something you're going to use more on meat rigs, or are you going to run this on spoons deep for trout?
I run this, one of my favorites is this paddle right here down the shoot rigger.
Mine too.
Yeah, down the shoot rigger. So, sometimes they just like the big seesaw action.
Exactly.
The more movement they can see, the better.
So is this something where you say the deeper water you're fishing, this is where these come into play typically? As you go deeper, you're going to put an attractor on?
Yeah.
That's a safe bet.
The water warms up.
So on let's say 100, 150s, you can pretty much, even 200s, go straight spoon without the attractors. Right. And when you're talking high and low divers, that's really where you're talking more you want an attractor.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Usually I'll start my rotators on a diver, and when I get a rotator bite, then I'll start moving them out to my lead cores and my coppers and stuff like that, and kind of expand a little bit.
Beautiful. Well, guys, the biggest tip Ryan and I could both give you is go find a reputable bait shop close to your local community where you fish. Today we're standing at a huge display at Captain Chuck's right here in downtown Ludington. Now, Captain Chuck's is probably one of the most knowledgeable shops anywhere in Michigan when it comes to guys at the counter who actually know what they're talking about. And this isn't just a sales pitch, and there's lots of those shops scattered along the lakeshore. You go down to Muskegon, you're going to have Snug Harbor Outdoors, another shop run by Jeff from Trident Sport Fishing. He's got great knowledgeable staff. You go north, you can find knowledgeable staff up at other shops. But the biggest thing people make a mistake of doing, I think, Ryan, is they go to a Cabela's or a Bass Pro and they talk to a guy who's never salmon fished in their life, making 10 bucks an hour, trying to tell them what he needs.
Yeah, somebody that's not even a fisherman's placing the orders. So
exactly. So guys, if you're going to get started in salmon fishermen, search out one of these shops that when you walk in the dead of winter has got this hanging on the wall. That's an immediate indication that this is a salmon shop that knows what they're talking about. They never take it off the wall. These are great Christmas presents. They're things that people are always looking all winter long when you're sorting through your gear. Oh, what did I have? Oh, this one I'm not using anymore, that type of thing. So get a good salmon shop. Get good information. Don't overbuy. I know that sounds crazy, but don't overbuy. Watch a video like this. When we're done and Alex shows you these colors, go ahead and go to those shops. Buy 8, 10 colors, 2 of each of 2 different profiles, and that literally, those starter boxes are really all you need to get going. Correct, Rye?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Go into your local bait shop here like Captain Chuck's, and everybody that works here is a fisherman.
Yes.
Or a charter captain. So
exactly, and they hear information. That's the thing. Charters and mates are running in here all summer long, grabbing stuff off the shelves. Why?
Exactly.
Because that stuff is working, and the guys at the register see that. So take this information from the video. We hope you run out. Buy some of these starter spoons that you're looking at. We want to get you out on the water. If you're a walleye guy who's never salmon fished like I was until about 6 or 7 years ago, stop that line of thinking. There's some awesome fishing out on the shoreline, from beach trolling in the spring all the way to back to beach trolling in the dead of the fall when everyone else has abandoned the lake. Those fish are right back tight again. So, and if you need a good charter, that's another great way to get a family out fishing. Call Ryan, call one of the people from local charter associations that are up and down the Lake Michigan shoreline. Hey, thanks for watching this intro to spoon fishing here. And thanks to Ryan for helping us out, and Captain Chuck's for giving us a great spot. And get out there, get on the water, and enjoy the Great Lakes fisheries we've got.
Take a kid fishing.
That's right. Hey, are you in the market for a small outdoor shed, carport, or small storage building? Visit my friends up at Midwest Steel Carports. They'll travel anywhere in the Lower Peninsula to install your shed or carport for you. Visit them online at MidwestSteelCarports.com. Hey sportsmen, John Bergsman here from the Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest with a Hot Bites fishing report coming to you from the shores of Lake Erie in the Western Basin out of the town of Monroe, Michigan. You know, this bite started just a little north of here in April in the Detroit River, and now that bite is kind of winding down, we're here in about May 10 or so. Those fish are flushing out. Those spawning fish, the big ones, have flushed out into the lake, and now the males are starting to flush out in numbers here into the Western Basin, filling this little stretch of water from the Michigan border down by Ohio all the way up to the mouth of the Detroit River. It is packed with wonderful eating-sized walleyes, and these fish are going to be here all the rest of May, all of June, and into July. These fish are very accessible with crankbaits, and as the water warms up, they'll go to crawler harnesses and spinners. Oh my goodness, is that a nice fish, Nick? Go ahead and show that off.
The water temp is still pretty cold right now, but in the next coming weeks, with the water temperature rising, crawler harnesses could be really effective. So, you know, you want to be able to have that in your arsenal, and also still have, you know, crankbaits as an option as well. It's amazing to me how everybody has this old stereotype that walleyes are only on the bottom. You'll be amazed at how many big fish I've caught in over the years in 40 feet of water in the top 10 feet of the water.
Oh, that's a nice one. Oh my goodness, now there we go. That is a beauty. And that's what Nick terms affectionately our hot bait. That bait has put 4 fish in the boat already on the first pass. Another beautiful fish. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, the fishing on Michigan's Western Basin is lights out at this time of year.
You'll see minnows skipping on the surface. You'll see mayfly skins. Pay attention to those clues, because a lot of times those fish are right under the surface of the water. They're just looking for food. And if you can, you know, utilize that arsenal to bring your baits up when you see those things, you're gonna have a big smile on your face, because you're gonna have a nice, huge wall hanger.
Beautiful fish, Nick. Yep, and it's the banana shad, if you're wondering. Show that is just beautiful. And look at how he T-boned that bait. This is a bite you really got to take advantage of. Now, when you're going to come down to this area, you're going to want to come with, as I mentioned, a good selection of medium to larger size crankbaits. Today we use the Strike King banana shad in custom colors. Some other baits that work really good are bandits, deep husky jerks. Those are 3 baits that I would definitely have on my boat. As the water warms, that bait selection might also include a 1/4 ounce hot and tot or a 1/3 ounce rattle tot. If you're a worm fisherman, meaning a crawler and harness and crawler guy, you're going to want to keep that same splash of custom colors on your spinner blades like we are using on our crankbaits. You're just going to go ahead and use lead lengths out to establish exactly what you're doing so that you can mimic the catch.
Hey, thanks for joining us this week. Hey, stay safe, keep the social distancing, and here's the reason why. I'm not normally a panicky guy, and I'm actually not panicking now, but I do understand that for this lockdown to really work, everybody's got to play along. Everybody's got to get involved. for us to put the kibosh on this quick, get all of us back out on the water enjoying what we love. We've got to all just buckle down, stay close to home. If you're going to fish, that's fine, but fish with household people, your son, your daughter, your wife. If you're going to go out fishing in a boat. If you're going to go wading fishing, hey, there's tons of stream fishing going on right now in Michigan, and that's like one of the safest things you can do, either by yourself or with a buddy. Keep good distance, have a great time in the outdoors, and we'll see you again next week here on Fisherman's Digest Hot Bites Fishing Report.